It's interesting how some plants come in and then go out of popularity. And then there are others that are perennial favourites. I'm talking about frangipanis, roses, magnolias, grevilleas, and these beauties here, the dahlias. Dahlias really have everything going for them. They're super easy to grow. They put on a magnificent display throughout summer and autumn with a huge range of big, bold blooms and colours. Red Earth Bulbs in the Dandenongs just outside Melbourne is a blaze of colour right now as the autumn flowering season is in full swing. Bulb grower Tim Druitt has some great tips I wanted to bring you.
We planted this mass crop of dahlias back in November, and have a look how fast they've grown and how much colour they're producing for us now. Dahlias are one of the hardiest plants on the planet. They originate from Mexico. A lot of people think that they're really delicate and hard to grow, but coming from that Mexican background, they really suit our Aussie climate.
They'll grow in clay, in sand, in rich composted soil, and they'll grow with very little water. These fields have only been watered twice since December, and they've been producing flowers for weeks on end. Planting doesn't get much easier than this.
This is a dahlia tuber, looks a little bit like a potato, has some eyes on the top there, that's where they're going to grow from. Just scrape the soil back to about a depth of 10 centimetres, place your tuber in and backfill.
They love full sun, but will also grow in partly shaded positions. But most importantly, wait for the frost and the risk in your area has passed. Top dress with a good manure to get the best results. Tim has 60,000 dahlias in the ground at Red Earth, which he's growing for gardeners right around the country. The range is just amazing, not just in colour, but the flowers they produce. When I was a kid, I loved growing dahlias, but the choice was very limited. It was one big tall fellow, it was a great big flower this size, big as your head, and it was pink, and that was it. But today, they're much more sophisticated. The different varieties and the different colours are truly sensational. Some that I still love to this day are the cactus dahlias, like Miss Rose Fletcher, a lovely soft pink. If you want white, then My Love would be one of the better ones. If you're into red, Kenora Wildfire, a fantastic red. And then, of course, there are all the pom-pom types. They're very popular, like Winky Nugget, it's a classic. And a lovely soft apricot, Glenbake Honeycomb. When it comes to decorative or water lily types, Christmas is a beauty, Bushfire, another one that's bicoloured. And then, of course, there are the singles, very popular with cottage gardeners like Bonnie Sky, it's a classic, and Clarion. So it's not only a whole lot of different varieties and different colours and shapes that you can get today, they also grow in different heights, from little baby ones like these fellows here, up to about knee high, waist high, shoulder high, and even taller.
At the end of their growing season, we start to dig them up. From our one little tuber, we've now got multiple tubers that we can divide up and share around with our friends or put further around our garden.
Now, if you live in an area with dry winters, you can leave your dahlias in the ground for years and they just multiply and you end up with a great huge clump. But if you have really heavy soil or wet winters, it's worth digging your dahlias up once they've completely died down, and you'll end up with a little clump just like this. So what do you do with them? Well, you clean them off, get rid of not all of the dirt, but just sort of dust them down. Then just pop them into a box filled with sawdust or cocoa peat. Just lightly cover them, by the way. Don't be tempted to water them. Then around August, September, take them out of the box. Oh, and you see what your babies are doing. Now, the next step is really tricky. You've got to look them in the eye.
The eyes can start out looking a little bit like pimples, and as they age, they start to become small red shoots. When you can see those, it's very easy to basically divide them. It really doesn't matter how big the actual tuber ends up being once you've cut, so long as you've got an eye on the top. We've turned our 1 into 2. It's a free plant.
A huge reason that dahlias are popular is because they make great cut flowers. They last for ages in a vase, but regular cutting and deadheading will also cause the plant to produce even more blooms. And those flowers are great companions in the garden. They attract bees, beneficial insects to the veggie patch. The plants and flowers are even edible themselves. Petals and foliage are great in a salad. And the tubers can be cooked and prepared just like yams. Now, if you'd like to brighten up your garden or veranda during summer and autumn, why not consider the opportunities with dahlias? Kids just love playing around with them, dividing up the tubers, planting them out, fertilising them, staking them up, tying them, just looking after them. They're such a fantastic plant. Oh, and by the way, you can get some of the best varieties online, mail order, and they'll deliver them right to your home. And of course, you'll also get some beaut varieties at your local garden centre right around the country.